Um, so, fix my bow tie. This group thinks that hanging these flyers all over my town is a death blow to me. And if you go into the description and you click on the link, you can just read the conversation. I'm late. I'm sorry, Smokey. Um, if you go in and you can go read just this morning's exchange with that Chris McKempsey Jones, who some actually believe is actually Thomas Schoenberger. I can't say one way or the other, but it descended into fucking threats really fast. I know that they think that they basically gave me a death blow by hanging all of these weird ass signs in my all over, and they did videos about it, and so I get someone sends me the video, the link, and says, "Oh, there's hands. Could you recognize the hands?" And I dismissed it because I thought, how the fuck am I going to recognize someone's hands? I don't recognize, you know? But then I got an email almost exactly right after that talking about this video and how creepy the hands were. So I had to go watch this video because I had to see what the hand was, just the whole thing. And it's them hanging up signs. They not only hung up signs all around my town square, they went to fucking businesses all over town and filmed themselves doing it. And it's a female hand. Well, of course, this all happens early in the morning because I'm an early to bed, early to rise kind of guy. You know, 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm asleep because I can be up at 2 o'clock in the morning. That's just a normal sleep pattern, even since I was a kid. So I go look at this video, and out loud when I was watching this, I said out loud, no fucking way. Because the image, I was almost pretty sure I knew who that was by the hand. That's how crazy it was. So I didn't do this yesterday, but since they left shit out at my mailbox, I knew that on my Ring camera, I would have a video of them dropping this shit off by my mailbox. And sure the fuck I did. And female passenger in a great big white truck. That's in a... So, do I know a woman that could be associated with all of this in a big white truck? You know, I can actually think of one. So, it was just bizarre. For me, the whole Chris McKenzie Jones got mad because for me, those fucking signs that they distributed all over can fucking hang till Christmas. And the reason why is now there's no one's after David. It's all in his mind. David is just making this up in his mind. There's no one after David. There's no one trying to do the dude any harm. That's all over with. That can't even be argued anymore because they announced themselves in such a bizarre and aggressive way. Hanging that shit up, hanging it up downtown around the square is one thing. But there was a lot of work that went into this because there's big ones, I guess, downtown, which I've seen pictures of. But at my mailbox, there were small ones. And they were, you know, and the shit is all bullshit. The shit is Doug Mesner's arguments. So what I find weird the most about the whole situation is the timing for me. Because if you go look back at the live that I did the morning before, I said that I was shown that Harlan was about ready to be tested. That Harlan was being tested. That they will either choose the side of those who are protecting the fucking child killers, or they'll do what's right. And this whole situation, I think, I don't find it so coincidental that I said that morning, and the very next day they had gone out and they were at my house at midnight, 11:58, when they dropped the shit off at my house, you know. And so, but in town, what's going to end up happening is that people are going to see that shit and they're going to think, what the fuck, who did this guy piss off? And they're going to want to know more. And they don't know who distributed those flyers. Nobody knows who distributed those flyers. From the video I saw, the two videos, the one with the female hand hanging the shit up and the big white truck in front of my house at midnight, I have a pretty good goddamn clue who it fucking is. But it just goes to show, I'm not crazy. There are people after me, and it is exactly what I've said. People in town. Because what was important for me in that hand, in that video, is that it wasn't Daniel Dowds. He wanted to make sure everybody knew it wasn't Daniel Dowds. It was a female hand, you know? But then when I went and looked at my Ring camera, I know someone good and goddamn well who has a fucking white truck, you know? I just can't believe you'd be so stupid as to let them set you up in such a way. Because now it shows the connections that I have said have always been there. Have always been there. And everyone has poo-pooed me and told me, oh, David's just crazy. But now it's pretty fucking obvious. And now it's pretty fucking obvious. And there's videos of it. And all kinds of shit. And this is so in your face. People are going to see it. They're going to want to know more. But the only person that they know who to look up is me. So they're going to actually look at my shit. And what I'm saying about Harlan. Because Neil Gross is nothing more than a criminal. He hid that whole Erling, Iowa gas station explosion. Hid it. It was, the official report says that it was one explosion that leveled the place. And that is not how it went. It was two explosions that happened 9.5 minutes apart. And he knows that because he was interviewed by KETV. Just like Dan was, who was the owner, who got out, went back in, got his brother-in-law, got them both out before the second place leveled the place, which obviously contradicts the official story. And I got interviewed on the same news program. I was right across the street and a quarter of a block up, you know? And so, and they tried Erling, Iowa, that Erling, Iowa gas station explosion was only 11 months after they murdered Isaac Cappy. And Isaac Cappy and I were trying to work together. And Fiona, you know? In the end, I think that Isaac was trying to do the right thing. Was he a good guy? Fuck no. All of his fucking friends were criminals. How good could he have been? You know? He didn't seem like a saint to me on the phone, but then I only talked to him on the phone. And Mesner will say, you didn't know Isaac Cappy, and that is kind of true. I've said before, our conversations were very one-sided. He wanted to hear about all my experiences with Michael Aquino and my training as a kid, so that's all we ever talked about, you know? But he was murdered because he was trying to expose this pedophile ring. Then they tried to murder me. The same very people that descended upon me the minute I started to talk about Isaac. 2 years ago, when I opened up comments and started talking about Isaac, they've been on top of me for a long time. Doug Mesner and the Satanic Temple, all of that. You know? It's... Neil Gross helped them cover up that gas station, and it was a domestic terrorism event. That's what it was. And anyone who looks at it can see that it was a domestic terrorist attack. The very dude who's posting videos, the reason why they're after me so much is because they came into my town, murdered my friend, did videos, posted live videos on YouTube, and bragged about the shit. And now they're upset because I won't let it go. But they bragged about the shit. I would have never even thought about it. I would have never known. But they brag about everything. They have to have credit for their evil deeds. It's just like a weird compulsion with them. They want accolades, you know? Daniel Dowd, who's all involved with this whole situation that's going on right now, who's involved with the same group who distributed that shit, along with Doug Mesner, Lucian Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple, and all of that, they're all together. Thomas Schoenberger, all together. Corey Daniel, a.k.a. Phoenix Enigma, and his Sicilian witch wife, you know, all together. Gabe Hoffman, all together. Craig Sawyer, all together. Ron Patton, and his whole crew, his whole coven of witches, all those women in Olympia, and all of the shit that goes on in Olympia, all of that, you know? DeFango, the whole Sewer Town group, you know, who I basically call the Dead Isaac Cappy Club, you know, all in it together, and obviously they're around me. How the fuck do you think flyers got all over? You know? Who do you think was in the big white truck outside my house? You know? And so, it's just, that's how, you know? And it's so blatant and in your face. And now, because of what they've done, Harlan is definitely being tested. Everyone fucking knows now. Everyone. They did something for me that I could have never even achieved on my own. Because now they brought focus to this and interest to this in a way that I could have never mustered on my own. Never. But what they just did with those flyers was so aggressive and crazy that people want to know more. They want to know more because it's aggressive and it's crazy, you know? And there was a lot of time and effort that went into it, you know? A lot of time and a lot of effort that went into it. It's not something that someone just did. There was planning to this shit, you know? And then they did videos of it. It's all in everyone's face. It's all in everyone's face. But now this whole David is crazy, there's no one after him, all that is bullshit. Unless you think that those fucking things just appeared on their own. Obviously, there are people who mean me harm. I'm not a fucking pedophile, so I'm not afraid of the shit. You know? And people who actually want to run with that shit, fuck, let them, because they're going right into the goddamn dark. It's exactly what I said. They are going to be careful of your judgments. Be careful of your judgments. Be careful of the judgments that you hand down, and God forbid that you would bear false witness. You know? But this is an interesting social experiment for me. People that have let me know that were my friends, that actually I think took a picture of that shit, did any of them take anything down? Has anyone come forward and said, I know that person, and it's bullshit, and then explain the whole situation? That's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering how it'll all work in the end. you know? Because it's not like I've lived in a vacuum, and it's not like I'm brand new here. I lived in Erlangen for what, 4 years? I've been here for about 4 years. It's not like people aren't aware of who I am, you know? And what will they do? Me, those fucking things, those posters can fucking hang till Christmas. Fuck, laminate this shit as far as I'm concerned. It just proves my point. It proved my point. There are bad people after me, and why are they after me? Because I'm trying to expose their fucking pedophile ring, and Neil is helping them because he's trying to fucking protect his meth operation that a lot of people in town are involved with, and everyone seems to know something about. You know? It's like an in-your-face open secret here. And I just think that everything is being judged, which is interesting because I'm in Harlan, and when you look at it geographically, Harlan is kind of the heart of where the heart is in the New World. So it's interesting that it's being judged here, you know, and I think it's being judged. Midwest USA. I think, in fact, I pretty much know it's being judged. I said the fucking shit before, and then the next day, that night, they had gone out and hung out all this shit. You know? That's what I'm saying. Go ahead. You can just poo-poo it, disprove it, whatever. You know, tell me yourself whatever ignorant thing you want to say. But it will be interesting to see what happens with all of this. You know? Everybody thinks they know God and can dictate how heaven is gonna, what heaven is gonna do. And if it doesn't fit what their fucking opinions are, then it's not real. And I go through a lot of that. That's the reason why I'm very grateful that they did this stupid shit. Me hanging out a sign, making a sign, and putting a sign out front in my house, a house that I own, is one thing. And that was almost too much. But going and fucking inundating the town with shit like that, you know, you certainly got people's attention in a way that I never could have. I never could have. My signs didn't get that much attention. Good job. Kudos to you. You get an A. But they're going to go look and find out because they're going to want to know, who did this dude piss off and what is this all about? I pissed off a bunch of fucking child traffickers who are behind a lot of people's deaths. And they want to shut me up. You know, they murdered Isaac Cappy. 11 months later, they tried to murder me. My sheriff is all involved with helping them, has a history of helping them, you know? God only knows what my sheriff is telling people when they're calling the sheriff's office right now. Because is it a coincidence at all, the timing of all this? Is it? But it's funny because I was told yesterday by someone who told me they don't really have visions or anything like that. But they were driving to work yesterday. And they said, I had a vision of you that just came out of nowhere. And you were in a courtroom. And you were wiping the fucking floor with Neil Gross. And that's, he said, I don't usually have. I'm not going to mention any names who said it to me, but he said, I usually don't have. I'm hoping that I can get the fuck out of here before that, because court, you know, there is no doubt that I have a concerted group of people after me. And who they are fucking a bunch of child traffickers. And occultists, you know? And I know that Doug was all behind this because someone left a comment saying, oh, well, you're, you know, Jesus's brother. Jesus is our brother, dumbass. All of us. Are we not sons and daughters of God? As is Jesus. So wouldn't that make us all? And I'm a man, so he would be my brother, right? He's a man, I'm a man. We would be brothers. Even if I was a female, he's a man, we would still be brothers, you know? And then, but I just find it funny because the shit that you guys just did helped me in a way that I could have never helped myself. You know? Now people know. Now people know. And that's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing. Some days I am not positive. Some days I am not positive. But I have people around me who actually let me bitch. And that's why I'm saying we all have to work as a team, because every single one of us is going to have a dark night of the soul every now and then. And what it is you surround yourself with people who have faith. So when you have that dark night of the soul, they generally usually don't. And so they can help get you through. And then later on, when they are having a dark night of the soul, you know, you can go and support them and vice versa. That's how it works. You know, that's how it works. And trust me, there are people on here. That's why you guys should really appreciate the work that Sherilyn does, because Sherilyn, unfortunately, sometimes takes the brunt of it. But even when this happened, I just can't say enough. I'm not a fucking pedophile, so I could give a fuck less that they're calling me a pedophile. What they did was creepy and aggressive and weird, and usually most people would have been afraid. But I'm not afraid. It actually ended up helping me. Because now people in town who didn't know who I was now suddenly do know who I am. And people who knew who I was who didn't really look into anything are now going to start wondering, what the fuck? What is going on? That this weird ass behavior, you know? Oh my God. I think you're part of the Satanic Temple or part of the sewer club, you know? That's what they use. You know, they think that they can close everyone fucking down by calling everyone a pedophile. But let me tell you, if you're not a fucking pedophile, what fucking difference does it make? I'm not a fucking pedophile. So why am I going to run from someone who's going to call... What, when they call me an Eskimo unicorn, do I run from that too? You know? I don't see any reason for it. That's the reason why all of that shit, the shit that they hung out, and I'm not taking a fucking thing down. I didn't hang this shit up. I'm not taking it down. Fuck, it can hang there till Christmas. You know? I'm interested to see if it will hang there till Christmas. I'm just interested to see how it works. You know? Everyone best be careful, because God has his... Heaven has its hand in all of this. And so be careful what you choose. Oh yeah. I do have hobbies. I end up sewing. I end up writing. I garden. You know. It's interesting because when I was out in Washington, the police ended up bringing these people who come into your house and then give you a mental health assessment in your house. And they kept trying to do it, and then Detective Lunger, or Deputy Lunger, asked me if he could bring people in. And since it was him and I trusted him, I said, well, yeah, if you're here, you can bring them in. I don't give a shit. I'm not afraid to talk to anybody. And it was two of them, and they sat there for an hour and a half. And during the conversation, they were just like, wow, you have amazing coping skills. because they were asking me. They were like, "Okay, you're stressed out. What do you plan on doing?" And I said, "Well, after you guys leave later on, I'm going to go to the sound and just go walk around because the ocean helps me. Just the sound actually helped me slow down and concentrate and realize that everything is so much bigger than I am. So my place in it is just my place. And I don't have to feel so overwhelmed about everything because my place is just my place. And we all have lives that do not revolve around this crap. That's just it. We all have lives that do not revolve around this crap. And I have been incredibly busy and had stuff to do. And there are people in my life who know because I talk to them on the phone. You know, I'm not afraid that they're going to come murder my friends anymore. Owen was the, because now everybody is warned. And I think God is working in such a way that, well, first of all of this now is going to explode in a way that I know Neil Gross is not happy about these flyers. I oh, oh. I know he's not happy about these flyers. He's not happy about any of this shit. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I think it's so funny. Because now, not only is he being inundated with these fucking dickheads calling them all the time, but now the whole fucking town is oh. And he's going to tell someone something stupid. And it's going to get back to me. Oh. God just works in mysterious ways that I have to say are just so entertaining sometimes. They just make me laugh. Oh, my glasses are dirty. Sorry. Chuckle for the morning. And so I look like that villain from Harry Potter. Okay. You know? Let me tell you, if you're dumb enough to end up in the dark, you'll see me as a villain. You will. You'll see me as a villain. And you don't want to end up in the dark. Fill your heart with love. This group that's after me that just did all these flyers all over town. And I had no idea the extent until people actually were sending me. I am yes and no. I've been brainstorming a lot, but have I actually sat down to write stuff? No. You know, I have a book I want to write about being gay, and so many people want to read it. And so I'm gonna, to be quite honest, I need a computer bag. But the computer bag that I need, I need a extra large messenger bag. And I have found one on Amazon, but it's like $80. I have to replace. And once I replace it, then I'm going to go get a computer that I can just carry around with me. No more leaving my shit at home. Because they break into my house at will. Obviously, and they're in fucking town. I've been saying that there are people in town, and they've been breaking into my house. And now they pass out flyers everywhere. And I guess that leprechauns fucking hung those flyers. Maybe, I guess. You know, it just goes to prove what I have been saying all along. And I have been saying the same shit over and over and over all along. And if anything that they presented in that thing was true, which it's bullshit, but even if it was true, it wouldn't negate the fact that they're fucking child traffickers and they murder people and they need to be fucking investigated. It wouldn't change anything. If you want to fucking go look, go look. Go see if you can find me on any registries. Because you can't. You know? You can't. Because there's nothing there. So why would I fucking run from a bunch of fucking child traffickers accusations? Especially since the majority of those accusations come straight from Doug Mesner. A dude who fucking in front of national cameras, national media, pulled his dick and balls out and laid them on a fucking gravestone. And that's who you're allowing to get around kids with this satanic temple after school daycare bullshit. You know? You expect me to actually respect what you're saying. Hey, good morning, Susan. But I don't. I don't respect the shit at all. You know? I don't expect this shit at all. But as soon as I've looked and looked and looked and looked and looked. That's why I'm so mad about that computer bag that they took. I didn't give a shit about the computer. It was old. It was broke. It was stupid. You know, I didn't give a shit about the computer. But the bag, I had no idea how expensive that bag was. Because it was a gift from someone. And I had no clue how expensive that was. But like I said, when I get finances, it'll be $80 on Amazon. I'm going to get a messenger bag, and then I'm going to have a laptop that I can carry around with me always. And when I have that, I'm going to write both books. I'm just going to sit down and write it. I just need the computer with me always. So if I leave the house, it goes with me. And I need something, the messenger bag, you know, like I said, it's $80. I'm taking donations because next month I have to renew stuff for my blog. If it's still there, because Chris Mackenzie Jones, if you go read that, told me he's going to take everything down. He's going to go after me and everything about me is going to be erased. You know, that's what he said. You can go read the emails. Did screenshots right there. You know, that all happened this morning. So, but as it is, you know, that blog is far from free. That blog is far from free. And so, but I'm working on bags. You know, when you're asking me about, you know, here, I'll show you some of the stuff. I'm making patterns. I'm cutting out stuff. So this is like a fabric. And I trace this shit onto there. And then I cut it out. And these are parts of the blocks that I make. So I have this one. And I have this one. And I have this one because it's what was left of my bow tie. So I did that, but my nice bow tie. And then here, bow ties, you know. Anybody who wants to buy a bag, I'll be showing a bag that I'm actually working on someone here soon. It's just going, you know. Thank you. But it's end of the month shit. See, it's not like I don't have my own stress. You know, it's not like I don't have shit that I have going on, but now I have to go worry about, and I have not gone out in public yet. But I really don't care, because anybody who thinks I'm a fucking pedophile obviously doesn't know me. You know? I'm just not going to deal with it. I just don't care. That's not true. I do care. And it pisses me off. But what can I do? And so I can't just spend my whole life fucking pissed off. I can't control these dumbasses. You know, they're going to do whatever they're going to do. And what they just did is so weird that anybody who can't see how weird that shit was, and you would think, they would think, well, that was really weird. What is this dude involved with that they would do that to him? And then they'll go look at my shit. And it's all about this child trafficking bullshit. You know? And so that's how it works. You know? I don't know. It gets to be exasperating. It gets to be exasperating. And I do appreciate you guys a lot coming in here, giving good conversations, giving support. Should I know everyone is broke? I know. That's why I'm praying for God to do something. You know, it's just, and while I go through that, I mean, I'm just being tested. You know, they do really want to keep up this darkness. They do. It gets to be exhausting, it gets to be annoying, but I will tell you that my faith is, there's a side of me that's like biting down on tinfoil. And there are several of you that are in here that know exactly what I'm talking about, because the same is true for all of you. You are good people and just really care and blah, 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 blah. But there is a side that once you've had enough, you've had enough. That's how I feel. When I've had enough, I've had enough. They look super guilty. They look super guilty. You know? And desperate. Desperate. This whole putting fucking flyers all over town was desperate. And they were color photos. They were color photos. It was not a black and white photo. The little ones that were outside my house, those were not black and white. You know? And so but I am working on some books. Once I have a bag and I'm able to carry that thing, you know, oh, they have so stalker vibes. Oh my God. I couldn't believe that they were dumb enough to actually come out in front of my house. Yesterday when I mowed the lawn and I saw that shit, I just kept mowing the lawn, and then I got outside and I painted that sign because I have a new sign out, because I was just like, well, fuck, if you're going to do that, I'm going to paint a new sign. And I felt that this time, this sign, I just painted it out in my front yard. Instead of taking that thing off and carrying it out to the back, I just decided, fuck it, I'm doing it out in my front yard. Everyone can see me make this sign. And people drove by, but I was in the hot ass sun. Even though I had a hat on, I was in the hot ass sun. So yesterday afternoon, after being in the hot ass sun, because that sign took me a good hour and a half, having that sun just beat down on me, I was tired. So I think I fell asleep yesterday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, which is not atypical of me. And I fell asleep at 4 o'clock. Got up to pee a couple times. Got up at 2:30 this morning. You know, that's typical. That's how, you know, that's how I usually work. And so, it's just sad. These people have no lives. I have talked to my neighbors. I've been nice to my neighbors, but unfortunately, I'm finding that several of them are involved. But again, it's not just a satanic temple. In town, there's a whole meth operation that's going on. God only knows who's all involved with it. Some of the wealthiest families are involved, you know? And everybody fucking knows about it in town. It's like I said, it's like an open secret that's like right in your face. It's not even secret. That's how I found out about it. And I don't know. What can you do? You know? But that's what I had. I have a feeling that that's the reason why they have my Shelby County, Iowa Sheriff Neil Gross by the short and curlies. Because they know about the meth operation that he's involved with. That there are a lot of wealthy people who are involved with this meth operation out here. That's the reason why no one will do anything. I have to get involved and I have to do something because Neil Gross is standing as a guard dog between me and the fucking child traffickers. He helped them fucking cover up that gas station explosion. He's helped them murder Owen when they were in town. And now, who the fuck were they staying with? Well, yeah, the people that were fucking passing out flyers just the other night. You know, in the big white truck. And I know they were in a big white truck because they were outside my house. You know? Because my cameras do work. That's the whole thing. My cameras do work. And so, I'm gonna pray. Probably keep this at an hour 41, so I have plenty of time. I like the fact that you guys are having a conversation. I have a waterfall that's a fountain thing that I was given, you know. The war on drugs, fuck. Never worked because the people who were on the war on drugs, who were really behind it, were making inordinate amounts of cash on that war on drugs. What that war on drugs did was actually fill the prisons. And the prisons are all set up so that you have a fucking cheap ass workforce that works for what, like 7 cents a day, you know? And then you get that to be your prison labor force. That's how it fucking works. You know? And anybody who thinks otherwise is not telling themselves the truth. And so, let me pray. I don't mean to bring people down in this whole situation. It's end of the month, so talking about finances ends up depressing me. And so I get a negative Nelly sometimes when I deal with shit like that. And so I just want to apologize. I don't want to bring anybody down. I hate doing these and ending them on a sour note because I want you guys to feel like I'm trying to, because I know everyone that's in here wants everyone to walk away feeling empowered. And so I feel a responsibility for that. So don't let my stress, you know, don't let my shit affect you. You know, we'll be here. Victory of light. That's just it. You know. All right, let me pray. Heaven, we come to you as your children. We are in days that, oh my God, the last few days for me have just been a nightmare, but enlightening at the same time. I did not realize that when you told me that Harlan was going to be tested, and I said that in the live, that the very next day, all this shit would be in everyone's face. And I don't know where things are going from here. I just have to have faith, and I'm trying. God knows I'm trying. But there are people in here that need your help. I'm concerned about Lavidia. If anyone ever has heard from her, I'm concerned about her. No one's heard from her. Saki has some personal issues in her life. They just bear grace down on her so that she feels that she knows that heaven is there. And we can't control anything that's going on. God knows that's true. Can't control anything that's going on. all we can do is learn to use the grace that you give us to actually muddle through. And I feel like I'm muddling through right now. I'm really stressed out. You know, I need a miracle, basically. But I think a lot of us do. We're grateful that you sent your son, Jesus Christ, our brother, down. Teach us about the validity of the word, and no matter what we have to go through, it's worth it. And we say these things gratefully always and lovingly in one solid voice, all standing together. Glory goes to you, everything. And in your son's name, our brother Jesus Christ, we say this. Amen. So, if you guys ever have anybody that you want us to pray for people, you want me to pray and that stuff, send it to Cheryl, the D Shurter mod, because she keeps me up on stuff. To be quite honest, right now, I have been so scattered. I've had to sow and do gardening and just do everything. Because let me tell you, yesterday, you guys did not experience in that live video or that video that I did right after I found out about that stuff, how absolutely pissed off I was at the very beginning. I was so pissed off. And I was feeling bad about myself. But then someone told me, dude, I would have burned the place down. And so I didn't burn the place down, so at least I'm doing better than a lot of people. The fact that I had an emotional reaction, it just pissed me off. You know, because now I have a lot of dumbasses who are running around thinking they know me, and they don't have a fucking clue. You know? And I'm not going to argue whether or not I'm a fucking pedophile. I'm not a pedophile. I have no history of being a pedophile. I don't even like to be around kids. You know, if there's going to be kids there, I don't want to be there. So I wouldn't make much of a pedophile, you know, but it pisses me off now that I have to go walk around town. And that's what it was meant to. This is all Nazi fucking shit that was designed to hurt. To fuck. I'll be lucky that some freak around here doesn't see that and come over and end up hurting me over their lies. That's the whole thing. Their obsessive, weird ass behavior that makes them look guilty. They get mad at me because I simply point out their shit. But their shit makes them look fucking guilty. The shit that they're doing is beyond. It is beyond. If you think that I should not have an emotional reaction to this, fucking walk in my shoes for a while. You know? Let them come murder your friends. Let them break into your house whenever they want. Let them hang fucking shit all over town, fucking saying all kinds of lies, and it's always anonymous. Even though not so fucking anonymous, because I know one fucking chick that has good access to a fucking white truck, and it looked exactly the same. You know? Wonder who that could fucking be. I don't play video games at all. I don't have interest in video games. Fuck, I have too much shit to do. And I'm telling you, if I can, you know, I need this computer back because I need to be able to carry a laptop with me at all times. I think that we're going to be brought to Christ. I don't think that God is coming. I don't think Jesus Christ is coming through the crowds to save us. No. Do I think that what's going on with Iran and Israel is part of it? A part of the last days? Yeah. Yeah. And some of the people who are running this shit, like Benjamin Netanyahu, they believe in the Antichrist. They're not working for the other side. They're working for the Antichrist. A lot of leaders are. You know? That fucking globe thing that they all touched. What the fuck do you think that was? What do you think symbolically all of that shit meant? Or was it just, oh, let's just do this as a fluke? Fuck, we don't know anything. Then where the fuck did they get that ball that was all lit up that they all touched? Like I said, I think that what's getting ready to happen, I think it's interesting that it's happening in the fucking Midwest, in the heart of the new world. We haven't been called that for a long time. But America has always been considered the new world. You know? That was how we started, at least for the white people. You know? And the people that we enslaved and brought here. Thank you. Dubai, you guys are having problems now too. You in Pakistan, India and Pakistan having problems. And it's because all of our leaders are so caught up in just power and control. They don't give a shit about the people. You know? They're deluded. All of them. And they're all acting like freaks. And no one's safe. It doesn't make any difference where in the world you are. You're not safe. You know? But thank you. Saif. I hope I said that right. I hope I did, because it's a really pretty name. You know? I think with the end, fill your hearts with love. You know? Fill your hearts with love. We have to have that vibration of love. And it's hard. When you're down in the dumps and you're fucking angry, let me tell you, it is hard. You know? It is hard. And we have to fake it sometimes until we make it. And anger's okay. I get angry all the time. Fuck, if I could have beat those motherfuckers with a stick yesterday, I probably would have given myself a heart attack. Just, I was pissed. You know? I was pissed. The love of money. The love of money is what is the root of all evil. It's not money. If you don't let money control you, and you realize that it's a tool, and usually it's a tool that heaven provides, money is not the issue. It's the love of money, the control of money. Thinking that money is going to save everything. Which is, I can't believe I'm saying this, because I'm fucking in desperate need right now. But that's the whole thing. So many of us are. You know? So many of us are. You know? I'm going to get off here because I'm just kind of... Right. Allah, Jesus. Jesus did not worship Jesus. Allah did not worship Allah. They worshipped the word, love. If you look at the foundations of every single religion, Muslim, Jewish, Christianity, including, Hinduism and all of that, it is about love. Buddhism, it's all about love. Loving your creator, loving everyone else. The foundation of every one of those texts, that's what it's about. The very text. And then it goes off and goes into its own dogma, which I think a lot of man had a lot to do with. Editing has a lot to do with everything. And everything's been edited. But it all had to deal with love. God is inside of us and all around us. And when you remember that, and you remember that it's about love, you got to give yourself a break. I got to give myself a break. Sometimes you just have to let the stress go. You have to make yourself let the stress go. Thank you, Saif. I'm just I'm just telling you guys all what you already know. I'm just trying to remind everybody. Because that's what ends up happening, is that we just need to remind each other. You know? Try to remind each other. I'm actually going to sew. You know? Food is in short supply. I haven't really wanted to go out of my house the last... Imagine that. There's signs all over calling me a pedophile, but I gotta go out today. But the stress level is, you know, and stress, that's the best thing about the stress, is that stress makes me not want to eat, because fuck, who has money for food, you know? And so I'm just... They forget. They do. If you don't remind people, they forget. You know? We all do. And we all get caught up in our own little... We lose the forest because of the trees. And you can still be in the forest and kind of lost because of the trees, but still realize you're in the forest and help other people. Remind everyone, you know? Oh, I would... The whole thing about it is that I would film the whole... I live in a small town. You know? I live in a small town. So... And if you're doing something weird, I'm not going to even engage you. I'm just going to dismiss myself and get away from the whole thing. You know? I don't have time for people's chaos. And there's a lot of people who want to fucking share their chaos with the world. And I'm not interested. I have my own fucking chaos. You know? I have my own shit that I have to deal with. And everyone else's... That's the whole thing. These fucking flyers, it's all everyone else's chaos. It's not my chaos. I'm not a pedophile. I didn't make the flyers. I didn't hang them up. It's not my chaos. You know? And so... Yes, I care because I don't know what I'm going to have to deal with when I go out and about. But when it actually comes down to it, I don't give a shit. I'm not a fucking pedophile, so I don't give a shit. You know? When it comes to that whole Elmwood Park thing, if that's all they have, and again, had that cop just waited and not tried to set me up so hard, he would have been able to bust me for smoking pot. Because that's what I was there for. You know? But I just am not going to become defensive over a bunch of shit that didn't make any difference and is really nobody's fucking business. You know? That's just it. And what they did was fucking weird. It was weird. And it was aggressive. And it was weird. It was weird. You know? The shit made people uncomfortable. It was weird. Do these people seem like they're law-abiding, rational, normal people to you? Really? That's what this, all of this shit, that's what it says to you, right? Go to my blog. Go click on that shit. Go read what I get. Go see screenshots of the shit. That's all rational. These are law-abiding citizens, right? Law-abiding citizens. They would never fucking be into murdering people and child trafficking and all that. Because, you know, I'm just a liar and a crazy person. So all this weird shit they're doing to me, that's what they do to all the people they decide are liars and crazy people. Is that what you guys do? To people who think are mentally ill and crazy and lying? Because I've never done this shit to anybody in my life. I think it's bizarre. I think it's unhealthy. I think it's obsessive. I think in a way it's very scary. You know? The only reason why I'm not afraid is because I have faith. But anybody else, this is the shit that they terrified Isaac Cappy with. Tracy Twyman. Lori King just gave up. Max Spears just gave up. You know? All of the long-ass list. This is the shit that they've done. you know? But you want to know what? Fuck them. I'm not fucking afraid. And I'm playing a different game than they are. And what they're doing is ending up helping me in ways that they can't even begin to imagine. I couldn't have planned all of this better. I could have never pulled this off, you know? I owe them a great deal of thanks. So does Neil. And I'm sure that his heart is full of gratitude right now. I'm sure. Or whoever's answering that phone. I am sure their heart is just full of fucking gratitude right now. Anyway, I'm out of here. Thanks, guys. Thursday, 11 o'clock in the morning. 11 is easier for me. When it's in the afternoon, I can't. Sometimes I get busy and I don't want to fucking break away. 11 o'clock is just easier for me. So it'll be Tuesday, Thursday at 11 o'clock. And then Sunday, and I'll do Sunday at 3 o'clock. Or 2 o'clock. Between 2 and 3. Actually, Sunday, just look for us between 2 and 4. Because sometimes Sherilyn gets busy, sometimes I get busy. Sometimes I just don't feel like fucking doing it. I have to force myself to do these sometimes. Not that you guys aren't great. But for me, with all of this, this is just me talking to myself, looking at myself in my camera. You know? And so... And I'm not pretty. So it's just... It would be so much better if I was pretty. I'm not pretty. I hate the way I look. That's the reason why when they think I'm looking away or I'm doing weird shit and stuff like that, I am not pretty. I don't like to look in the mirror. So these freaking lives that I do, I see conversation, but then the rest I'm looking at myself in a camera, you know? I just... Okay. With that said, I'm out of here. We'll see you guys on Thursday.